I think I learned how to cook, but my cooking was terrible. I hated my cooking. I only cook steaks, okay, because it's either raw or cooked, and it can be eaten either way. You have questions, I have answers. Confused? Oh, damn, curious? Yes. Yeah, pretty much. I remember the first time I read about the news, there was the title called Pneumonia of Unknown Reason. I was like, pneumonia, is that the thing? Because it's never too serious illness here. News reports were like a few lines, so there was nothing to worry about. China is a big country, and I spent my Chinese New Year in my hometown, and it's quite far from all the serious areas in China. That was quite similar to the situation in Europe, I guess, because at first people didn't really care much about this COVID-19, 2019, because it's not their problem, and we thought the same. At least I thought the same because it didn't affect my life. The city I work in, it's near to Shanghai. It's called Hangzhou, and my hometown is called Jilin. And I went back to my hometown. Lonesome town, where the broken hearts stay. Classmates in university, we had a dinner together, and they started to talk about the virus, and I still didn't think it was a thing that I should be worried about. But the second day, the news announced that Wuhan was in lockdown, and something like there are signs for the virus to be transmitted between people. So people started to panic. Well, I don't know much about Wuhan because I don't live there and I have never been there. I don't have any contacts there. But I was very, very astonished. You have to know that Wuhan is not a small city. It's a big one. It's a really big one. If everyone on the street is running and you are on the street and you're walking, then what would you do? Of course, you are going to run as well. Even though you don't know what's happening, but you also don't know what danger is lying ahead. Of course, I panicked a little bit and I felt kind of scared, as the same thing when there was the so-called theory 2012, the end of the world, the doomsday. I also panicked a little bit, and also some Chinese people. At first, people would think they're okay with the lockdown because they would have a lot of time to do what they want. But the thing is, I am also an introvert. I don't go out. I stay at my place all the time. I thought it would be a fantastic time for me, but then I realized the food delivery didn't work. I have to buy groceries in the supermarket, which is very rare for me because I always buy things online. Later on, I actually realized that I felt depressed because no one was with me. I live alone, and during this outbreak, I couldn't go out to any place to socialize with my friends. I really miss when I had the great time together with them in bars or whatever at their places. During the lockdown, if you're not a resident in a residence compound, you're not allowed to enter the residence. So I couldn't visit my friends. So with this kind of isolation, it's really easy to drive people crazy. And I felt really depressed. It's not something that can be solved by online chatting. You see the people if you do the video chat for sure, but I live alone and I pretty much depend on the socialization to maintain my healthy mental states. Because I don't go to office, I work from home, so I don't get to meet people. I feel like spending my time, spending my life in a jail, in a cube, and it was really, really hard to bear. That pretty much affected my mental health for a short time, but I'm fine now. She must be on the Mahara, 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 Gamahara, Mahara, Mahara, Gamahara, la 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 la. Actually, I'm traveling now, so there is no ban for traveling as soon as you report your information to the authorities and you apply for the so-called health code, and it'll be fine. But the code itself is not really reliable. Just imagine if one person is infected there, everyone else is in danger. People always wait in a very crowded queue for the code. So, well, it's kind of not reasonable, I would say. So here I am. I'm traveling when others are still worried about the virus. Thing is, the flights, they're quite cheap at the moment, so I have to travel because I cannot miss the good office. Traveling is something that I really want to do. Travel to places that are far, far away from me. But at the moment, I can only travel in China. Although I'm very far from where I live, but still, I'm waiting for the day that it ends. I am really expecting that day to come. That means a lot to me. Not everyone is wearing masks already. But the situation is more or less in control. But anyway. It's fine.